you should be able to.
Check,
yeah, I
check,
see it.
check.
Yep.
Okay. It's full on air right now. We're already on. Okay.
Yep, it's okay.
Okay.
So stand by. Camera on. All right, go ahead.
Thanks for joining us on KHU11 Plus. I'm Marcelino Benito in the KHU11 newsroom, and we are keeping a close eye on breaking news. Air 11 over the scene of Southwest Houston, a fire unfolding right now just southwest of the Southwest Freeway. This is on Hillcroft Avenue. We're talking about the 6500 block of Hillcroft Avenue. And specifically, it's 6525 Hillcroft Street. You can see live pictures right now, Air 11 over the scene. This fire broke out, we're told, by Houston Fire around 2 o'clock this afternoon. We dispatched chopper out to this scene right away. As soon as we got there, there was flames and black smoke. You can see it looks very different now. Much different posture by firefighters who continue battling this blaze, but obviously not much black smoke. You're seeing white smoke instead. That's always a good sign in these types of fires. This is a call that came in as a 2-alarm fire, so significant response, and as they were out there, upgraded to a 3-alarm fire. We're waiting an update from Houston Fire to determine what the status of the blaze is right now. But in these live pictures that you're looking at, you can see this is a large apartment complex, several units it looks like, just ripped apart by these flames. You can see through the roof into the second floor of several of these units. Firefighters with hoses extended on all sides of this apartment complex as they work to fully put out this blaze. Again, not much black smoke as it was as soon as this fire was initially reported. This call came in. Specifically, this complex, for those not familiar with the area, again, is 6525 Hillcroft Street. That's actually between Hornwood Drive and DeMoss Drive, again, southwest of the Southwest Freeway 59 as we know it here in Houston. Our Matt Doherty is our reporter live out on the scene. Let's listen in as he talks to witnesses or residents of that apartment complex.
Beneath the pole, right there is a 2-bedroom apartment, and it looks like now that it's totally lost.
Okay, so
Totally lost.
So you go up the stairs and your place is like that one.
Correct.
Right there?
So I go up the stairs, and there's 2 apartment complexes. Well, 2 apartments. The one on the left and the one on the right. The right apartment is mine, the 106.
Okay, so what happened today? You went to work, you just got back? And
So I went to work, and then I got a call from the manager saying that, hey, the apartment next to you is with fire. I come back, and then I see this, and I contact management to get my 4 cats, and I still haven't got no response. Well, they have both blue collar and red collars, but they're black cats and white cats. They're simple.
White
They're
cats and white
really simple. Yes.
Red collars and blue collars.
Yes, but hopefully my apartment is good right now. But for the looks of it, I might have to go sleep somewhere else.
Yeah. I
Pretty
think so.
sad. Pretty really unfortunate, man. But let's hope it gets good. And hopefully the lady next to me is still alive because she is older. So God forbid her death. But yeah.
Okay. So what all? I guess you had a lot of stuff in your apartment. All
Yes,
your stuff.
definitely. I had just barely moved in literally like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Literally like 2 weeks ago. I just moved in, and by the looks of it, I basically have nothing again. I just barely got my stuff out, barely moved out. My apartment is gone. Apartment is gone, buddy. Pretty sad today, man.
Did you have renter's insurance?
I did not. They do not operate here. So that was the main concern of me moving in actually because of that. Because they don't provide the rental insurance or they do not allow the rental insurance.
Hey, that lady with the apron, is that the lady next door?
No, that's a different one. No, but she's an elderly woman. She's probably like on her late 60s. There goes the apartment. Oh, no. You saw that? Got it on live. Yeah, no. And that's my Porsche right there. Those are my wood. Gone. And he's actually sticking out right out of my window right there. Right there, he's sticking right in my window.
Back here following this breaking news on K211 Plus, the Southwest Houston apartment fire. You've been listening to our reporter Matt Doherty out there talking to a resident who is literally watching
You
his
saw him
apartment
sticking out right from my apartment.
burning,
right from my
burning
bedroom
to the
window.
ground. He's watching as firefighters are responding, trying to keep the fire under control. But as he mentioned, he had just moved in 2 weeks ago. Most of his stuff in that apartment, he's lost it all. The apartment is a total loss. And as he was doing that interview with Matt, talking to Matt, both of them just heard the sound of a burnt out wall collapsing, falling towards firefighters. It looks like firefighters weren't hurt. They were able to, dodge it and get out of the way. But obviously a very fluid scene out here in Southwest Houston. We're told by firefighters that there are no injuries to report at this time, but we also heard this man who's watching his apartment burn, that he's concerned about a next door neighbor, an elderly woman as he described her, who he hasn't seen and is not aware if she was home at the time when the fire broke out. Obviously this is still a very fluid situation. Firefighters working to tap down those flames. As we take a look at pictures from our rooftop camera here in our Galleria studios, this is not too far from us. You can see a lot of white smoke from that camera. You could see water being sprayed by those firefighting apparatuses. Looks much better than it did around 2 o'clock, about an hour and 15 minutes ago when this fire broke out. And a lot of activity at that scene. You see a whole lot of fire engines. Again, this started as a 2-alarm fire, then more help called in as a 3-alarm, and people just watching, presumably people who live in this apartment complex, watching this fire tear through several units. By the looks of it, at least 3 or 4, maybe more buildings there that have smoke coming out of them and just torched rooftops as that fire ripped through there. Again, you're looking at Air 11 now. These are pictures, live pictures of Air 11. You can see on the outskirts of that apartment complex on the perimeter just how many firefighters are on scene here trying to control this fire. Of course, HPD there as well. I see a couple HPD units, typical that they respond to help with crowd control and keep people safe as firefighters are doing their work. We'll continue watching these live pictures and we'll continue following this story throughout the afternoon. Again, our reporter, Matt Doherty, is live there at the scene gathering more information, speaking to residents, hopefully getting an update from firefighters, and we will have the very latest on what's happening here in Southwest Houston on K211 News at 4. One more quick reminder, though, if you're anywhere near 6525 Hillcroft Street, best to avoid that area. Firefighters are asking you to avoid that area if at all possible while they continue battling this fire. We'll see you at 4.
of an older type apartment building. When they showed up, it quickly escalated. As you can see, we got a lot of wind today. That causes fire to expand very quickly. Crews got here, realized that it was a wind-driven fire. About 15 minutes later, they immediately called for a 211, try to put a stop on it. The wind was a factor. They kept the fire going and stoking it. We're glad to report that we have no civilian injuries and we have no firefighter injuries. We do want to thank our partners, the police, who are out here helping everybody evacuate, so we do appreciate the help on that. About 14:30 or 2:30, we did go to a 311. As you could probably see from the media interview, we had heavy fire on the top. What made this fire so challenging is this is an older building which has no fire stops, or what we call firewalls. That means once the fire reached the upper floors, the wind took it and ran it down the entire length of the building, which is about 200 feet. 311 is about 65 apparatuses with support areas, and that's plus or minus about 200 firefighters to stop this fire from spreading to the neighboring units. I am happy to report we just tapped it out. That means that we've knocked down the fire enough that now they're going to start hitting the hot spots, doing our secondary searches if we missed anything the first time. But the fire is under control, and we report no injuries, either civilian or firefighter.
Okay, so how many units do you think were damaged?
There's approximately 40 units. It took off the entire top half of the backside of this building. So it was a challenge to get ahead of it. The wind was not helping because it's pushing the fire further down than what we could get to it. We did manage to stop it at the end, which is a contributor to these fire crews out here working really fast. Wind fires are something unique, it's different, and it causes us to get more people out here to change out crews because we got so many people spread over a 200-foot building.
One of the guys who lives up in one of the units that was damaged just got home from work, said he's looking for his cats. Do you have any idea if pets have been hurt or anything like that? We don't have any reports of the pets, but we have a lot of bystanders out here that were interacting with the fire scene to get things, to move pets, people, things like that. So I would encourage them to contact some of the neighbors around here to see if they was able to do that. Okay.
Sorry, we got here a little bit late. What caused this fire? Do we know?
We don't know what caused it. We're going to look at the 911 call and how it came in. We were unable to do a lot of interviews right yet on the bystanders to find out what may have provoked that. Again, our main concern, because it's wind driven, we have such heavy wind today, or a gust of wind, that the fire was just getting away really fast, and the focus was to get on that first. We do have investigators coming out to determine the origin and the cause. They're en route. We are going through it right now of our preliminary secondary searches to make sure we didn't miss anything, including pets if they're in there. And then we're also putting out spot fires. But again, I want to say this is about a 200-foot long building, and the whole top half, you can probably tell from the helicopters, is burned up. My message to the public is when you're in older style apartments, usually they do not have fire stops. This was a success because the citizens got out on their own. They evacuated on their own. People don't realize how deadly a wind-driven fire can be. So it's a tribute to these guys or this community out here to know, in fact, to get out as quickly as they can, which they did. No fire stops, fast fire spread.
Tell me about that, how fast and how different it is because it's wind-driven by those strong winds that we've had this week.
So I took over a division to help manage crews. Command is running different parts of this. You have what appears to be chaos. For us, it's more like an orchestra. We know what we're doing. We're getting crews in place. How fast that happens depends on two things, the structure and the environment. Today was not in our favor. We had gusts of wind, heavy wind at certain points that took the fire and ran it down the building. At the same time, we're trying to get hoses laid. You can see these big ladder trucks behind me that are flowing water on the top. They have to pump water into these big ladder trucks. That takes a little bit of time to get them set up. Once they're set up, a lot of water flows. So now we got to back the crews out so we don't hurt ourselves, right? This is a coordinated attack. They finally get the trucks up, they hit it, and they stop it. But the wind is still pushing the fire down this building. That's why it's so important for the citizens to get out. We cannot control that. We're in the process of gaining control over that push. So once the big fire trucks or the big ladder trucks start flowing water on the top, we knock it down enough so we can get back in and continue the fight until we knock it down enough so we can go inside and start doing our search and rescue.
What time did it start, or an estimate of when you got the report?
About 2 o'clock, the call came in. About 15 minutes later, we went to a 211, and about 15 minutes after that, it went to a 311. That's 200 plus firefighters, 65 apparatuses. That's the intensity of a wind-driven fire.
No one deceased. We spoke with someone that said that they were missing a family member. You haven't found anyone yet?
We have not found anyone yet. Searches are what we call a secondary search. That's where we go back in after the fire's been put down to find if we missed anybody. They're doing that right now. So the report should be coming in as they clear these apartments. But you have about 40 units, give or take, that are completely destroyed. Both from the inside from the fire, and the roof is completely burned off. And then we had the heavy water come in here that just knocks the fire down and destroys everything in its path. But right now we have no reports of deceased, injuries, or death.
Okay, so your understanding is that there was no one. They were all able to evacuate as of now.
At this point, right now, that's what we know. Yes, ma'am. So I don't doubt that they may be missing, but we have a lot of bystanders out here.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, pets and neighbors and family members. You have a lot of bystanders on all these streets, so I encourage you, to set up a community liaison or something like that so they can talk. But right now, no reports of injury or death.
I don't know if you know this or not, but the Red Cross is going to be out here to help some of these people or what?
Yes, sir. The command, which is District 28, he made a call to our emergency operations center. They bring out blankets, they bring out food supplies to help the families. We will have an extensive amount of families on this fire. So we welcome the Red Cross. We're going to set those up as we do every fire and start bringing the families as a reunification center to start getting them set up for where they're going to stay.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
I know you mentioned the wind. Is this at all related to the warnings that the committee put out conditions statewide fire?
So that's a great point. When they put out these warnings about heavy wind, that's exactly what they're getting to. If there's an emergency, especially if there's fire, the wind pushes the fire so fast it's very hard to get ahead of that. So those warnings that our officials put out, that the emergency centers put out, it's important that the citizens take heed of that. And you're absolutely right about notifying the community, because this building lit up so fast. We have to give it to the firefighters that made an incredible stop to stop it from going to other buildings. I mean, we're watching it go up, double in size about every 10 minutes, taking out other units every 5 to 10 minutes. It's just a fast-moving fire. So these guys really worked hard today. The men and women really worked hard today, and we're happy to say that right now, no reports of injury or death.
Full name and title, please.
Oh.
Your full name and title.
Deputy Chief Brian B.R. Sky Eagle, SKY-EAGL.
Okay.
Get a shot of that, right?
Yeah, I got it. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Units, you said?
About 40.
40 units.
All the whole top side of it. We want to try to